Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue number 43 from Mirage Studios. Halls of Lost Legends. This came out January 1992. Covers by A.C. Farley. And A.C. Farley also did the penciling and the inking. And this was written by Paul Jenkins. So, yeah, let's get into this. Best way I can describe this is the Turtles go God of War on some mythological creatures. They basically pull Kratos. So let's just jump right into this. So the Turtles are basically in the woods, and they're all blindfolded, and they're practicing their ninja skills. And Donatello is having a rough go at it. He keeps bumping into people, bumping into objects like trees and stuff like that. He he tries to crack some jokes, but then he gets kicked by Michelangelo. And basically they're all pissed off. They're like, I hate Donatello's like, I hate this intuition crap, and all the turds are like, listen, jerk, like you take this seriously, like shape up because you're dragging all of us down. Even Leo gets in on it. He's kind of like, yeah, Donnie, like what's going on with you? Like you never, you're never like this quick to quit on things. Like what the hell's going on? And so they're like, all right, fine, like, let's try it again. So everyone puts on their blindfolds. And eventually Don bumps into this wall. And then he pulls off his blindfold, and so do all the turtles. And they see this giant castle. It's like this giant stone wall, and behind it, it's like just a bunch of like pillars and castles, and from all types of different cultures. Like there's a Egyptian pyramid. There's the like Indian and Russian buildings. There's the Japanese samurai buildings. There's medieval buildings. There's so many different types. And they go inside, and they see all these locked doors, but they can't get into any of them. But eventually they're able to find one that has like the hinges broken. And so they kick it open, and they see this guy. He looks like a medieval knight of some kind. And he's just laying on what looks like this. It looks like it's like a coffin almost. He's just like sitting there, and they're like, he's covered in spider webs and stuff. And they ask him if he's dead, and they're like, I don't know, like he's not breathing, but he doesn't look dead. He's not like cold to the touch or anything. Like this doesn't make any sense. And all of a sudden, this guy walks by, and the turtles chase after him, and he's like, you guys should leave. But they won't. They want to get some answers. So he's like, all right, fine. My name is Locke. And what you see before are all these mythological creatures. Basically, in the beginning of like true sentience, mankind has always turned to folklore and mythology to help them explain the world around them, which is true. This has happened. There's folklore, there's religions. Not to say any of those things are wrong. Let me just get that out there. But people always turn to like stories and stuff to make sense of things that they can't make sense. And so eventually all of those creatures, like they became greater than the sum of their belief. So many people believed in them that they actually took a life of their own. They were no longer just stories, but they actually became real physical beings. Which is interesting because this reminds me of this story that I heard on Coast to Coast AM. I don't know if anyone listens to that radio show. That show was awesome. But I listened to one where this guy, he was like a professor, and he was talking about how they wanted to create their own cryptoid, their own like Slender Man, ghost, like some kind of creature. So what he did was him and his students would basically stay inside this room, and they would all come up with the same creature, and then they would just think about that creature. And they were just keeps trying to, manifest this creature that they all made up. And then after weeks and weeks and weeks, eventually they started hearing noises and sounds from what they thought was the creature. Like, like the creature was talking to them. And yeah, I don't know, this whole thing just always like kind of interested me about like, if you believe in something so much, can you actually manifest it into reality? Because like you hear stories about like talking about religion. You hear stories about people who like, they all pray together. Coast to Coast actually does this every Friday. They have like everyone like can like send in letters or whatever, like so and so in my life is going through trouble, or I'm going through trouble, or whatever, and they basically ask all the listeners to pray together. And in some cases, it's worked. So there's this belief that like if everyone focuses their energy into something, you might be able to manifest it into reality. I don't know why I kind of went on that ramble, but it's just this is like a topic that's always kind of interested me. So, anyways, that's what happened to these creatures. These different mythological creatures, they all got manifested into reality. But eventually, mankind drifted away from those folklores and those mythologies and started turning more to science and stuff. And once people stopped believing in them, they started losing their power. So they were taken to this place, the Halls of Legend. And eventually, in the Halls of Legend, they get to the point where the belief in them dwindles so much that they can no longer move. They're just frozen stiff, and they're just basically in this Hall of Legend waiting for a time where maybe the belief in them will come to fruition again, and they will be able to have life breathed into them, and they can move and stuff. Anyways, he tells the turtles like, it's not your time here yet. I need you guys to leave. And then he disappears. And Donatello gets fed up with it. So he's like, this is BS. None of this is real. Like there's a logical explanation for this. So he goes off on his own. And as he's going off on his own, his turtle brothers try to find him. And they go into this one room where they come across Kronos. Anyone who knows who Kronos is, he is Zeus's father. He was a Titan. And he basically like ate all of his children because there was a prophecy that one day one of his kids would overthrow him, and that kid later ended up being Zeus. So Kronos sees the turtles. He assumes that the turtles are his sons, and he wants to kill them and eat them so that they don't overthrow him. He's basically mad with. He's basically like just not all there, and he's just obsessed with rage and stuff. So the turtles pull a Kratos and start fighting Kronos. Meanwhile, as this is going on, Donatello comes across Odin and Valkyries, and he basically like sees this shield, and he thinks that he sees Odin, like a tear fall from his eye. He's like, something about this doesn't make any sense to me. So eventually we cut back to the turtles who are fighting Kronos, and Kronos is about to blast him when Donatello shows up with his shield, and he hits Kronos in the face, and they basically like push him back, and they rush out of the room, and they slam the door shut, and they lock him inside the room. And Donatello explains to them like, there's something here that doesn't make any sense. Remember how when we first arrived here, how Locke was heading in one direction, but then after he saw us and started talking to us, he started going in a different direction. It almost seems like he's trying to hide something. Let's head into the direction that he was originally walking towards and see if we can find anything. So he goes and he sees just this giant room where he sees a bunch of frozen figures, and he sees Locke up, at the top of these stairs, and he's like, what the hell is going on, Locke? Like, none of what you're saying is making any sense. And every time we talk to you, your story keeps changing. And eventually Donatello figures it out, and he's like, you're not Locke, you're Loki. And he shines the shield at Locke and discovers that, he was right. Locke is actually Loki from Norse mythology. And Loki reveals his true form, and he basically summons all these other mythological creatures to fight the turtles. He summons the Celtic marsh spirit, Fidel. He summons Cerberus, the three-headed dog. He summons Grendel, the nemesis of Beowulf, and he summons Manticore from Medieval Nightmares. And they all battle the turtles. So now we got more God of War stuff. We got more turtles taking on mythological figures, and we get just a lot of cool fight scenes between the turtles and these figures. And it eventually ends with the turtles able to beat off. Maybe I should use a different phrase, to beat down these these creatures. And so Loki decides, okay, I got to summon more creatures. But Donatello throws his staff at him and is able to stop him before he summons more, and they all grab Loki and they hold him down. And then Loki turns into Master Splinter and says, oh, great job, my sons. You've passed your tests. You can let me go now. And of course, they don't believe him. They're like, free everybody. free everyone that's around here. And eventually he does. He frees everybody. So all the mythological creatures that were frozen and stuff come to life. And they imprison Loki. And then Odin is talking to, I believe it's Odin, is talking to the turtles. And he explains what's going on. He explains that Loki, like the halls wasn't a place where like once people start, forgetting about these mythological figures, they go solid. What happened was Loki was actually putting a spell on all of them, and he was keeping them locked in this hall so he can siphon their power and grow stronger and basically like become like a true god. And now that Loki has been in prison and he's released everybody, all the creatures are free. They're able to move around and stuff like that. They explained that they were the ones who brought the turtles because they knew if they brought the turtles before their time has come, it would confuse Loki and make him uneasy, and maybe they could get a message across to the turtles about what's really going on, which ended up happening. The turtles eventually realized something was wrong, and they fought Loki, and they were able to free him. And then he sends them all back. And as they're talking to Splinter, they're kind of like wondering, keep saying that our time hasn't come yet. Almost like he's expecting us to be there at the Halls of Lost Legends at some point. But that doesn't make any sense because we're nobodies. Like, we live in hiding. No one knows about us. How are we ever going to become legends? Like, it's impossible, isn't it? And that's how it ends. So, yeah, this was a nice, interesting issue. I would say I liked it better than the previous one. It was pretty fun. I like the fact that, you bring a lot of mythological stuff, which I'm a huge fan of mythology and folklore. One of the things, like, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a professional writer. I'm a screenwriter. If I wasn't a writer, I actually would like to get into, like, mythology and folklore. Like, maybe be, like, take classes on it. Maybe be, like, one of those professors that you see, like, on the History Channel and stuff like that. Like, just someone who just spends all their time learning about because I love learning about like different cultures and religions and mythology and urban legends and folklores and stuff like that. Those things always interest me. So to see that mixed in with my turtles with a lot of fight scenes, I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, this was a fun little issue. And yeah, I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed myself reading this. But yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, this was issue number 43 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 1, Halls of Lost Legends. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hope to see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.